Hi everyone, and welcome to Adding and Subtracting Decimals with Teacher Bob. Today I'm going to give you three examples of adding decimals and three examples of subtracting decimals, and we will go through these and show you some examples, and this gives you some practice as well. So our first example for adding decimals is 3 decimal 4 plus 2 decimal 2. Or we can say this as 3 and 4 tenths plus 2 and 2 tenths. The most important thing to remember when you're adding and subtracting decimals is to line up the decimals. So we're putting our two numbers here that we're adding together vertically, one above the other, and make sure that you line up each number with the same place value numbers, one on top of the other. So your answer will have the decimal in the same place. So as you can see, what I've done here is I've brought the decimals right down into the answer. So 3 decimal 4, the decimal is right here. Right below it, the decimal for 2 decimal 2 is right here. And like I said, with adding and subtracting, the decimal will fall right below into the answer. So we're adding in this case, and as we would with counting or whole numbers, we add from the right moving to the left. And we do this with decimals as well. But we just simply put the decimal down at the bottom. You can do this now, or you can do this after you put the answer at the bottom, but make sure everything is lined up just as I've mentioned. So starting in the 10th column, or the column that's furthest to the right, we add 4 plus 2, and that is 6. And moving to the left, there's no numbers to carry. 3 plus 2 is 5. And that's our answer, 5 decimal 6, or 5 and 6 tenths. So let's take a look at the next number, and it's 7 decimal 5 7 plus 6 decimal 3 4. So I hope you can see that I've lined up the decimal and the numbers according to the place value, one above the other. And this decimal goes over to the hundredth place value, and so two more numbers after the decimal. We're all set up. Let's start adding from the right moving to the left. 7 plus 4 is 11. So we can only put the ones digits down, and we have a 10 that we have to move over. So 11, 1 down, and carry the 1. Now we're adding in this other column was the hundredth, and we're moving over to the tenth. So 1 plus 5 plus 3 is equal to 9. Nothing to carry, and move over to the leftmost column. 7 plus 6 is equal to 13. And there's your answer. 13 decimal 91, or 13 and 91 hundredths. And the last question as an example is 16 decimal 4 plus, I forgot to put my plus sign up here in our second example. You'd always put your operation sign. 16 plus 3 decimal 3 5. And we will put the decimal down where it should be in the answer. If we take a look at the first number here, we'll see that the final digit is in the tens column, or the first place value after the decimal. The number we're adding to that number has two numbers after the decimal. What I like to do is I usually will put a 0 at the end of my decimal numbers just to even up the numbers, the number of numbers after the decimal. So let's add. 0 plus 5 is 5. 4 plus 3 is 7. 6 plus 3 is 9. And 1 goes down by itself. There's nothing to add to that 1. 19.75 or 19 is 7,500. Okay, let's take a look at subtracting decimals. Very similar to adding decimals in the process. We're doing actually the exact opposite as to what we would do with addition. So we'll move on to this next subject, and if you're interested in some of the other subjects that I have in my videos, please don't forget to click on that like, and of course I'd love for you to become a subscriber, so click on subscribe as well, and you'll see all of Teacher Bob's new videos as they come out. So let's take a look at the first example. 6.7 subtract 2.4. Our decimals are lined up. Our numbers are all lined up. I don't have to talk too much about this because we've covered this with adding decimals, and it's the same. We have to do the same thing with subtracting decimals as well. Okay, so starting from the right and moving to the left as we did with adding. 7 subtract 4 is 3. Our decimal has been brought down. And 6 subtract 2 is 4. So we have the answer 4.3 or 4 3/10. Let's take a look at our second example here. 15.4 subtract 3.24. The decimals are lined up all the way into our answer. Now let's take a look at the top number that we're subtracting from, and you'll see that we do need to add a 0 to the very end so that we at least have a digit that we can subtract the most right number from 3.24. And of course we can't subtract from 0, so as with regular subtracting, we have to borrow. So we have to borrow a 1 from the 4, so that becomes 3. And bring over the 1, and 0 becomes a 10 now. So 10 subtract 4 is 6. 3 subtract 2 is 1. 5 subtract 3 is 2. And 1, there's nothing to subtract from the 1. We bring the 1 down. Our answer is 12.16, or 12 16/100. Okay, and the last question goes right to the thousandth place value. Remember, this is the 10th place value, the 100th place value, and the 1000th place value. So let's do our subtraction here. Same process. 25.174. Line up all the decimals. 11.155. And subtracting, line up that decimal right into the answer. And let's start subtracting from the right. Okay, well, 4 can't subtract 5. We're going to borrow from the 7. It becomes a 6, and the 4 becomes a 14. 14 subtract 5 is 9. 6 subtract 5 is 1. 1 subtract 1 is 0. 5 subtract 1 is 4. And 2 subtract 1 is, of course, 1. And we're left with the answer 14 19 thousandths, or 14.019. So that concludes our look at adding and subtracting decimals in this video. And I will be coming out with in the next day or two. And by the time, hopefully, that most of you do see this video, there'll be another video on multiplying decimals and dividing decimals. So please click on that like button and subscribe, and you won't miss any of my videos when they come out. And I'd be very grateful if you could do that. Take care, and until next time, this is Teacher Bob, and don't forget to like and subscribe to these videos. Have a great day. Please click on that like button and subscribe, and you won't miss any of my videos when they come out. And I'd be very grateful if you could do that. Take care, and until next time, this is Teacher Bob, and don't forget to like and subscribe to these videos. Have a great day.